Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys have been having a lot of fun with Commies and Zooks. I went over a lot of the basics in my previous video, but in this video, I want to talk about some more advanced tips and tricks to help you guys sharpen up your attacks. Also, I have been playing around with another tactic combination for Commies and Zooks. Shout out to an Alliance member who brought this to my attention, and I will share a quick walkthrough of it at the end of the video as a bonus tip if you want to stick around for that. But for now, let's get to it. Let's dominate. One of the biggest mistakes you might make when playing Commies and Zooks in World Wars is that you're deploying your commies too soon after you decoy. There's a very simple rule here, and I want you to remember this rule for the rest of your life. When defenders spawn, they will target the nearest enemy. You can really exploit this mechanic in DomiNations, but it will also work against you if you're not aware of it. If you deploy your commies too early after you decoy, you're going to get a really awkward attack where the meat will branch off and attack your commies instead of marching toward the meat grinder. Here's an important addition to this rule. Even after the decoy dies, you have to wait until all of the enemy generals have spawned from the castle before deploying your commies. Now, if you're deploying your meat grinder near a castle, that really shouldn't be a problem, because when the generals spawn, they will naturally aggro onto your meat grinder. But the last thing you want is to have some juiced up general beating the shit out of your commies when you're at your meat grinder. The big takeaway here, wait until you see the meat marching before you deploy your commies. Remember when I said in the last video that it's incredibly important that your meat grinder kills all of the meat? It's a lot easier said than done sometimes. More often than not, I have seen people fail at Commies and Zooks, myself included, because we don't take good care of the meat grinder. Remember that in reality, the meat can be really nasty. High-level generals, alliance troops, usually really strong armored cars or bazookas. Throw some stronghold troops in there, and the meat can really be your worst nightmare. If you're having trouble keeping your meat grinder alive, here are two things you can work on. First, speed. During those precious seconds when the meat is marching toward your meat grinder, you have to be fast and decisive. After you deploy your meat grinder, it's off to the races. Commies, drop. Blitzkrieg, drop. Decoys, select. Go back to your meat grinder. Be ready. The faster you can get back to your meat grinder, the more likely it will survive. The second thing you can work on is how you decoy. The decoy is best used when the enemy's highest threat troops are close to your meat grinder. Forget the tanks and all the infantry. You want your decoys on the generals, the alliance troops, the stronghold troops, and the heavy tanks. Once you've made sure that you're wisely using your decoys on the right troops, timing here also matters. Decoy them when they're close enough to your meat grinder that your meat grinder can get free damage off while the meat is attacking the decoy. If you decoy too early, when the troops are outside of the range of the meat grinder, you've essentially just wasted one of your decoys. Also, remember the rule we went over earlier. After the decoy's down, the troops will target the nearest enemy, so decoying early could also mean that you lose some commies as a result. So if you want to take better care of your meat grinder, work on your speed and work on the timing and position of your decoys. The next tip here is about speed rallies. Not only will speed rallies get you faster attack times in wars, but they will also make your multiplayer rating a lot more efficient. Speed rallying with Commies and Zooks is pretty straightforward. Rally a defensive building that your commie has set a bomb on. Whenever they set a bomb on a building, you have about a 1 to 1.5 second window to rally onto that building. Usually the building dies right away, and that's a really easy way to get an easy speed rally for your entire army. When you're raiding, oftentimes you'll find a base where defensive buildings are already on the perimeter anyways, so this way you see your commie put a bomb on the building and you can get a free speed rally right at the start of your attack. Now I want to leave you with a piece of advice that's really relevant to Commies and Zooks, but it will also just be really helpful for the entire time that you're playing DomiNations. And that's to be flexible. The orders of deployment that I went over in the basics video, none of them are set in stone. There are cases in which you don't want to deploy commies all the way around the perimeter, maybe because you were stupid and missed your decoy on a castle. There may be times where you have to take care of your meat grinder before you even deploy your commies because the situation just calls for it. Also, depending on the base, you might even want to take into combat a different combination of war tactics than you usually do. Flexibility and creativity within an attack style will separate the good attackers from the great attackers. So learn to be flexible. You'll fail your fair share along the way, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Now, for those of you that have made it this far, I'm a man of my word. Here is the tactics combination that I have been playing around with. It's Assault Rally, Protect, Heal, then Strength of the Gladiator. Basically, steroids for your meat grinder. This combination takes advantage of your Assault Rally to move your entire meat grinder to one spot where you can easily buff them up with the other tactics. I wouldn't say you can use this combination in every attack, but I think it works best when you're going up against really high-level generals. Heavy tanks as donated alliance troops are pretty much a must, so you can take full advantage of those massive buffs. The general order of deployment is the same as it was in the previous video. It's just that at the step where you would normally decoy, you would bust out this combination. The timing on this combo is really important. If you hit it too early, most of the buff will wear off before the meat even gets to your meat grinder. You hit it too late, and it's gonna be a really sad meat grinder. So that's the gist of this tactics combination. Try it out and let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're enjoying this content and want to get better at DomiNations, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you're not on the DomiNations Facebook page yet, DomiNations International, well, you better get on it. It's a great resource for DomiNations in general, and it's just a good community of people. That's all for now, and until next time, good luck out there and have fun.